Oh, here we go. Ra-da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da, do-do-do-do, da-da-da-da-da. I don't know what if that was just the whole entire video. This customer's son wanted to wrestle me today. He was like 24 or something, and his mom kept going, "Will you stop asking him during here? He's not gonna, he's working." And I wanted to say, like, if I knew them better, or like I knew them, I was gonna say I wouldn't mind wrestling your mom. After you said that shit out loud. So growing up in the 90s, you could say shit like this. Like, I could leave this. There's certain people you can do this to. I could leave this at my job on the one girl's desk. Okay? Put it in my fucking neck like fucking Frankenstein here. I could put that on her desk. I gotta do a live video. I've been meaning to get back on here. This truck has got such a rocket engine. Hear this shit? This guy was rolling up on me in a little sports car. I don't think so. Yeah, I don't like how the brake, it kind of shakes a little bit. It's an older, I mean, it's not old, but anyways. So back in the 90s, you could say, it's hard to drive and do these videos and think and fucking talk and da-da-da-da and be somewhat engaging. So those of you that say, oh, it took you 15 minutes to get to the fucking point, fast forward the shit, okay? Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm sure this isn't that exciting, okay? So, the screw, back to the screw. Now, I'm going to leave this on her desk and write, you know, her name and say from, blah, blah, blah. I figured you could use this. And that's where the joke is. What does that mean? Well, what do you mean, what does that mean? Now, it could mean, I don't know, like, you might have something that you need it for, or, I don't know, let's just put it in your toolbox. Or, I don't know, when's the last time you had a pretty decent, you know, or maybe you could use one. I don't know, just throwing it out there. I could say, hey, I figured you could use it. Now, totally inappropriate, yes, but totally needs to be done. You know what I mean? But there's some people you can't do that shit with. Sexual harassment, I used to do a comedy skit, and I used to say sexual harassment is a way, okay, to get ugly people in trouble for trying to you. You know what I mean? That's what sexual harassment is. Because, like, if a guy, you know, like me, looks like Butterbean, does that to some girl, she's probably gonna be like, stay right here. But if I looked like fucking Enrique Iglesias, this guy is rocking on the drums right here. Look at this shit. Dude is fucking rocking on the drums. Respect. He's like, so, guy that looks like me is going to jail or getting fired. But a guy that looks like fucking Enrique Iglesias, who I think is a decent looking guy. He's no Ricky Martin. I think Ricky Martin, I always like when people say no homo. Like, no one thinks that you want to fuck Ricky Martin because you said that he's handsome. You know what I mean? I think he's a good looking guy. Who's better looking? I don't really know, but I would say, man, it's kind of hard, but I would say, that's what she said. I would say, I think Ricky Martin is cuter than Enrique Iglesias. I don't know. I don't know. Like, I'm just saying it like to say it. I just think that, not in like a, oh, no homo way, you know, I don't know. He looks more like a chipmunk, I think. Like a cartoon character, you know. Anyways, But there's certain people you could do that for, and sexual harassment is one of those things that it's to get people in trouble and to get them out of your fucking dating pool, you know? Like, it's like a flag in dating. It's like, flag on the play, sexual harassment, butterbean, number 22, repeat first down, or you know, whatever. But like, if it's a good-looking guy, it's like, hell yeah. I don't understand, okay, unsolicited pictures of any guy. I would tell you this right now, okay? Any guy, any family member, if my kids, if I had them, or wherever my kids are, if I do have them, you'd never, okay, never just start a message with a picture of your dick, okay? That is definitely not a good soft opener, unless it's soft. And no, it's so fucking goofy. Like, nobody's dick, okay? You know, like, I mean, you look at them and go, yeah, I don't want to see that. I highly doubt women look at a dick. Now, there's some out there that might. That are like, that's what I'm looking for. But more often than not, women are a little bit more, you know, women, yeah, they want that, but they want the total thing. They want to be, and rightfully so, you know. I honestly think like being decent in bed and above average in bed, I honestly think a lot of guys suck in bed. I really do. I really, really, really do. Okay? You know, like, when I lost my virginity, the first thing the girl said, because I lied, because you don't ever tell them you're a virgin, because then they might not have sex with you. You know, you got to make it sound like you've done it 1,000 times. Yeah, no, I've been doing this for years. Well, how old are you? I think I was 17 when I lost my virginity. I didn't lose it. I left it somewhere. You don't ever tell them that you're a virgin. It's a bad move. But, like, I just feel like there's a lot of guys that are shit in bed, you know, and I feel bad for women. Women will put up with a lot of bad sex. They will. They might not be faithful the entire time. God love them, whatever, but I just don't ever want to be in a relationship with someone and, you know, like, I don't know, like, I've done a lot of interviewing. I call them the PSI, post-sex interviews, where I'm interviewing a girl and I'm, just ask questions. I don't know, maybe I just ask too many fucking questions. I don't know, but I like to know, like, what, just talking to women, and I'm not talking about women that are mad because the motherfucker, like, took her credit card back, or I'm not talking about women that are mad that some guy cheated on. I'm talking about, like, women, like, legitimately, that have been with a guy, now they're divorced, whatever, and, whatever, it never ends good, but, like, just hearing, like, what could have been better, in their sex life, what could have, and a lot of times, I hear is foreplay, and I really feel like the reason why you're missing out on foreplay for, like, men are not, they're either not interested in you enough, or they're very self-conscious over, like, taking a chance on whatever, you know what I mean? Like, they're very, like, not wanting to you know, like, do something to you, and you go, what the fuck are you doing? You know what I mean? Like, I remember the first time a girl put her tongue, this sounds bad, right? That already isn't what you want your mom to pick up the phone on when you're talking. What? The first time a girl, like, kissed my ear, that shit lit me up inside like a fucking Christmas tree. I just seen some of the guys I used to work with over there still on drugs. That shit was like, wow, what the fuck is that? You know? So, I just kind of just feel like men are selfish. Women, you know, they probably got a fucking drawer or an emergency drawer full of toys that they can use. And they'll put up with that shit. Hey, titties. This girl's fucking outside with a bathing suit on. These fucking ducks are barely crossing the road. They're always so slow, these fucking ducks. I wonder how many people hit these ducks on purpose. I think that men are selfish, like I said. Men are selfish. I'm sober right now. My mind just be all over the fucking place. Men are selfish. I feel like that's a big part of it. I feel like men are selfish. Maybe some of them aren't well equipped, or, you know, they didn't watch the Red Shoe Diaries on fucking Cinemax, or they're just not willing to be adventurous, or they're just vanilla by nature. I don't know. But I remember the first girl that I had sex with. I don't think she'll remember me. That cold, rainy night. I remember just, you know, like, I don't know. I just feel like people don't have the, like, intimacy where they, like, talk about shit. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Like, people don't talk about shit, like, about, like, you know, like, don't you do a survey after you're done having sex and go, is there anything you like? You know, like, maybe you're in the shower together and you're, you know, blah, 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 blah. And you're like, oh, do you like when, you know, like, when I, you know, spank you or grab your hair or whatever? You know, some girl, you know, you gotta just kind of, you got to, like, make the fucking experience. You gotta tailor, lady, it's been your fucking turn at the light for a minute. You gotta, like, craft it around them if you care, you know? Some guys just don't give a fuck, you know? Like, I couldn't imagine being a girl and, you know, doing a guy a favor and then the guy acting like, you know, all right, well, I'd be like, no, you're, where are you going? You know what I mean? Like, that's how men think, you know, but I just think that men are afraid to ask questions or explore or experience things. What I was getting at 14 fucking minutes later, I'm sorry, girl in Minnesota, if you want to come here and spend the night, I'll show you what I'm talking about, you and your cat. Like, I remember saying, you know, we had just begun our fornication ritual, and I remember saying, you know, we're laying there talking and and, you know, we're kissing and whatever, and I just remember her, you know, saying to her, like, you know, just like kissing her back or something, and I said, you know, and I was looking at her fucking little apple ass, and I just remember going, you know, can I bite your butt or something? Or, like, can I run my mouth all over your body? And is that cool? Is that fucking weird? You know what I mean? And she was like, no. Yeah, you can do that. And I remember going, I can't wait to do this. You know what I mean? But I just don't feel like, I don't know. I just feel like men, I just don't feel like a lot. I feel like most men are pretty basic in fucking bed, and they're pretty boring, okay? That's really how I feel, and we're going to talk more about this. We're at the 15-minute mark. Patreon, subscribe, like, don't, whatever.